Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to an unexpectedly engaging game called Slay the Princess. Now, from the title alone, you can probably get some idea what you're supposed to do. There is a princess, and you are supposed to slay her, or else she will destroy the world. Or, wait, were you supposed to save princesses? Well, either way, the choice is up to you. This game is very much like the Stanley Parable. Do you remember that phenomenon? That was a really fun game too. But then throw in a certain element of horror, and that's kind of what Slay the Princess is. It's actually really fun, and there are a lot of different branching paths, very narrative-driven, pretty engaging. Now, I just played this with some of my top-tier patrons in a private stream. We were all blown away with how good it was. And actually, we're not the only ones. This game is currently enjoying an overwhelmingly positive review on Steam with over 3,000 votes, so it's definitely worth a try. Let's jump into a new game, and I'll show you how this works. Now, I will warn you, this is going to be a little bit different in that this is a very narrative-driven story. There's going to be a lot of talking that is not going to be me, and I don't want to interrupt all of that. So we start Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Aha, the end of the world, you say. You care to elaborate on that a little bit?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Right. But how would a princess locked away in a basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
So there's a lot of different conversation options we can go over here. Like, yeah, I'm sold, let's get this over with. Or I've always wanted to off a monarch, vive la revolution, or whatever it's going to be. I'll just say, look, I'm gonna go to the cabin, and I'll talk to her, and if she's as bad as you say, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had a chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Okay.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Now, this is something new that's introduced in the game. The voice of the hero, it's kind of like an internal voice, right? Not the narrator. It's supposed to be part of you, one perspective, going into this challenge. And actually, as you play this, you might have various different voices you'll have in your head, depending on the choices you made. But this character obviously likes the idea of saving the damsel in distress.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
So we could take the knife? I mean, I feel like it would be foolish to go into a game called Slay the Princess barehanded, so we'll take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thought. So, let's enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
I think she might disagree.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Oh, speaking of which...
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Yeah, that was not a very scared who's there. Just saying.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Yeah, fair enough. So, do we say anything? Just, I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
She's not scared.
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
Okay. Hi, princess.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
I mean, I have the knife to prove it. Yeah, that was not a joke. That is why I'm here.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
I mean, that doesn't seem too unreasonable, but the narrator warned me of your web of lies.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
You know, that is a completely fair point. I mean, where's she gonna go? I could always just pick up the dagger and stab. I mean, she'll probably try to persuade me not to. I guess that's the real risk. But, like, I'm the player. I could totally resist that, right? All right, tell you what, we're gonna drop the knife.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Okay. The fact that she still seems so strangely and eerily calm is a little unsettling, but all right.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
Don't you worry, Mr. Narrator. I'm just taking you at your word that this lady needs to be killed. I mean, yeah, everything she's giving off is the heebie-jeebies that she does need to be killed. It's like burn it with fire, but at the same time, I don't know if I trust you either. Let's learn more about this world before we make a fatal decision, yeah?
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
A relationship. That's not how I would have seen it, but yeah, sure, call it that. A relationship, are you coming on? That's exactly what I was just thinking. I guess I'll say it.
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to use the, like, literal Webster's dictionary definition of the word, sure. It's just not what people mean when they say it. So, there's people who think you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Why not?
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
Okay, I'm starting to second guess things here.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Yeah, about that. You're all manacled, you're left alone, you've been here for a long time. What are you eating and drinking, exactly? Is anyone here taking care of you? Do we need to worry about that?
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Great question. No one has. I've been wondering that myself. I was hoping you'd tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
Fair point.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Well, I definitely don't trust you. That's not the right word. But I also don't know if I trust the narrator. I'm kind of wondering if I should just, like, wash my hands of the whole thing. Just leave, you know?
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
Are you saying you could kill me? Because that's what you're implying there. So you are dangerous. Now, maybe I'm just reading too much into it.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Nor is yours, for the record.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
Yeah, one way or the other. It's blind trust.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
Yeah, but there's just something about the way you're saying all of this. There's something about the look in your eyes that makes me think that there's more to you than you're letting on.
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Okay, first off, I'm not as against the monarchy as you might think, but also you could say this about anyone. You could say this about my cleaning lady, you know? It's just one person. Why even take the risk? You could use that to kill anyone. How long have you been down here? I mean, I think you said you didn't know, but just on the off chance.
Too long.
Well, fair enough.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
That's true. She is evasive, but logical. What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Sure. Okay, we've talked enough, I think.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
Not entirely, but if it's gonna be blind trust one way or another...
You know why you're here.
I'm gonna keep you locked away down here until I decide to know what to do. You know? Who said we had to kill her right now? What if we just let her stay for a bit? She's not going anywhere. She hasn't destroyed the world yet, so clearly she can't, right? Until I get more information, why should I trust anyone? I don't trust anybody.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
See, the hero agrees.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
Yeah, but she's been down here for a long time, right? And she hasn't yet. Why would that change?
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help.
Okay, so she agrees that she will find a way out, and now the text is red and in a scarier font. Do we just kill her?
And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
See, that's the look again. Right there. That's the look again. I don't like it when you do that.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Okay. I now sort of think we need to slay the princess. Yeah, I think we have to destroy the princess. You look at those godless eyes and her veiled threats. The narrator I don't trust, but at least he's just been pretty straight with me on a lot of this stuff, or at least as straight as he's ever going to be. He's just like, look, you don't want to do that. She's like, you don't want to do that, or I'm going to make you regret it. So, based on that, if I have to choose blind trust, I guess I'm going to slay the princess.
You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle.
Well, that sucks. Wait a minute.
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
Oh, great. Now the hero's on my side. Okay, you know what? You changed your mind pretty quick.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down.
Can I point out my arm is kind of weird? And I have feathers, it looks like. Maybe I'm the monster in this situation.
As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
Okay, now you sound like an anime villain, and now I have decided that I was absolutely right to try to kill you. I just should not have hesitated. That was my downfall.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs.
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Well, game over. GG, we lose, right? Oh, wait. Chapter 2. The Tower.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Heard all that before. Wait, hasn't this happened already?
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows?
Wait,
There's nothing we can do to stop her.
who's this?
She's just going to kill us again.
Okay, we have a new voice in our heads, because I guess I'm like schizophrenic or something. The voice of the broken.
She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Right. Okay, well, let's assume that I'm telling the truth. All this really already happened. Why would I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die. What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now? It's pointless. She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
Did they though? This feels normal.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains, and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end.
Okay, this guy's starting to depress me a little bit.
Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you.
Alright, we will proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you this time.
We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
Yeah.
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
That's exactly what pessimists say.
You're being annoying.
Yeah.
Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
Well, now I'm curious.
I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
No, you don't, Eeyore. Whoa.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Okay, this is not what we saw before.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
Right, okay. This is very different from last time.
maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Uh-huh. So, what about that, mirror thing? You didn't say anything about that.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
Except there very clearly is.
There's definitely a mirror.
See?
There isn't.
Yes, there is.
Who cares if there's a mirror?
Oh, shut up.
For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future.
Grisly visage. How would you know that?
Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. You probably look perfectly normal. Probably. Do you not know what we look like?
He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us.
Well, now I'm concerned about myself. Right. I want to know how handsome I am.
Please don't. I'd rather the princess kill us again than see how dreadful we are.
But what if we're not dreadful? What if I'm handsome?
I care less about what we look like and more about whether we're being lied to. If he's willing to lie about something as innocuous as a mirror, what else is he hiding from us?
That's a fair point. I didn't really think of that, but that makes sense.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
That is the question, because I am using my eyes, and I see a mirror. Right, we're going to approach the... Well, first we're going to take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar.
And then we're going to approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Okay, wipe the mirror clean. Whoa!
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
So wait, there wasn't a mirror? Well then what was I seeing?
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
I really don't like you. I don't think I want to listen to anything you say. Right. Well, let's try the basement again.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This is actually kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
What have we unleashed?
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
You've had a change of heart.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude?
See?
Just a few minutes ago, you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there.
It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Okay, continue down the stairs.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond.
Whoa!
The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
She's still chained, but she's huge and godlike, really.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
No.
As if on command,
Oh.
the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade.
Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
Okay, you still depress me, but you also are not that far off, because that is not the princess I remember.
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
No.
Oh, are you still trying to defy me? I said kneel.
Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me.
So we made her awaken her powers? This is our fault?
The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay. First things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
Okay. Just because you're supposed to destroy the world doesn't mean you have to. Be what you want to be.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
Okay. So what happened after I died?
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird.
Okay, yes ma'am.
There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps. Or a pet.
I don't like that idea. Right. I'm not gonna help you end the world. I don't care if something new comes after, I just can't let you do that.
I say, perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters.
She's gonna stop me, isn't she?
Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants.
I don't like where this is
No
going.
objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade.
Everyone is saying
As your
that.
eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer.
I have no choices except to pick up the blade. Well, I pick up the blade then.
You reach forward and grasp the blade.
This is about to get ugly.
Stand.
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad.
Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway.
Stand, I guess.
You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To defy me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
Really would rather not do that.
What?
You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this.
Okay. We end this.
Oh, we'll end this all right.
No.
Your
No.
hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her.
Slay the princess!
Your body is sluggish and unresponsive, actively fighting against you, but you do your best to stagger forward. One step at a time, you move towards the princess.
Slitting your throat would have been a mercy, but it seems you're in need of a harsher lesson. Plunge that knife into your lungs.
No, I don't want
sorry.
to. No, don't do this to me, Broken!
Don't! As you take another step forward, the blade digs into your ribs, slicing through flesh with ease. It somehow feels like an entirely natural thing to do, while the simple act of walking has become an arduous impossibility. Then it slides back out, the wound burning as a small hiss of air escapes through the fresh orifice. Blood fills your lungs.
Now, do it again. Keep doing it until I give you permission to stop.
Those are just words. You don't have to listen to her.
It's what she wants.
You, heroic one, what are you doing? Don't just let this happen. Stop him from killing you. I'm on it. Your other hand locks around your wrist, struggling to keep it from perforating vital organs. But the blade still flails towards you, managing to slice bits of skin that plop to the floor to join the growing pile of blood and gore beneath you. Despite the pain, you manage to keep yourself in one piece, at least for now.
What a pitiful display. A wounded little bird, thinking it can defy a god. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to hurt so much. You can choose a gentle end. You can choose to leave that punctured vessel for the next.
For the next what? What is that supposed to mean? I mean, I'm kind of distracted by all the stabbing I'm doing right now, but the punctured vessel for the next what? Now, slay the princess!
Or you can pathetically struggle against yourself until the floor of this temple is painted with the bloody impressions of your futility.
You continue to approach the princess, even as the repeated gouges of your blade expose bone and muscle to the open air of the basement. You know, this would be a lot easier if you gave us a hand. My influence only goes so far, and I can only juggle so many things at once. The best I can do right now is to continue to drive you forward. Believe me, this whole ordeal would be so much easier if I didn't have to contend with free will.
You're the one making things difficult. You're the one making us hurt. She doesn't want to hurt us. She's just doing what she has to.
Well, she seems to be taking pleasure in it. She wants to.
Stop.
Oh, wait, maybe not.
As you finish crossing the room, you fall to your knees at the princess's feet, your chest heaving as your blood pools in the crevices of the stone floor, the coppery taste coating your throat. The princess kneels down, lifting your chin with her finger as her face lowers to yours.
Your devotion is misplaced. You've surrendered to delusion. But something about your defiant spirit speaks to me. You are different than you were before. Perhaps, if you've learned your lesson, I can spare you from the release of death.
That's a little demeaning, isn't it? Yes, how thoughtful of her.
It's a mercy. Take it.
I think he's given up whatever say he had at the start of all this.
Agreed.
At least one of you is sane. She's within striking distance, and she's only negotiating now because she knows you have what it takes to put an end to her. Seize the moment before it's too late.
Slay the princess!
No! Yes. Though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you channel it into a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance.
And if her name was Achilles, I think it would work.
She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees. But you don't give her any time to recover. Your heart pounding with determination, you plunge your blade into her chest. As you find your target again and again, she laughs, crude emotion breaking through her once stony composure as your blade cuts her flesh.
This isn't working!
We can do this, can't we?
She's laughing, probably not!
You always could. The decision to give you this task was not made lightly. You're here for a reason.
It's not too late to pick up the pieces. It's not too late to toss that blade aside and beg for forgiveness.
Shut up!
Shut up.
Yeah!
I can't believe you would actually strike me. You
heathen! You worm! You defiler! You don't know the consequences of your arrogance!
Before you can strike the final blow, the princess lashes out, knocking you off your feet. There's an unsettling wet pop as your spine breaks, numbness and pain spreading through your body. As you rebound towards the ceiling in a moment of disorientated lightness, she drives her fist into your chest. Your body is crushed as she pulverizes you into the floor, the ground itself breaking from the impact. You lie there, broken, beyond pain, unable to even see what she's done to you. But the princess is succumbing to her own wounds as well. She looks down upon her body in abject horror and disgust.
You made me use my hands. I can feel myself twisting into something new, something dull, something defiled. What have you done to me?
You're monsters and conspirators. I can't bear to watch this.
The princess has been nothing but cruel to you. You should feel liberated by her fall.
But I don't feel liberated. I feel empty.
Aside from the pain, I feel fine.
Yeah, but that pain's pretty overwhelming. Oh, also, we're dying.
She collapses to the floor. Her glassy eyes watch, unblinking, yet somehow still full of anguish and fear, as the two of you perish together.
I suppose we were never going to get a happy ending here, were we?
Don't let those be your final thoughts. You saved the world. That's worth something, I guess. Regardless of how you feel about it, it's finally over. Thank you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
All right. Well, we finally slayed the princess. It was kind of awful, but we slayed her. Hooray! Oh, wait. Chapter 3. The Fury. Or is that Fury? No, Fury. Whoa!
I think he's upset. And what's he got to be upset about? We just killed a god!
The voice of the stubborn. Well, that's new.
Exactly. You heathens destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever was, and ever will be.
You're damn right we did. You'll get over it. Can't say I have much sympathy for you. She was bad for us and you almost got us killed. You're being too generous. He did get us killed. Alright, enough chatter. Got a thing I'm supposed to do, and if you don't mind, I'd like to do it without any more interruptions. Okay, great, you're listening. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a...
If your thing is telling us about the princess, don't waste your breath. We know all about her, and it's hardly a path in the woods at this point, is it?
Well, this is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly, you've already been here.
Yeah, you think?
Actually, I don't think we have been here. This is all different, isn't it?
Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that. Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted. It's because reality is distorted.
So you knew this could happen? You knew we'd be able to restart like this?
I know all sorts of things, which is why you should listen to me.
That's not really an answer.
Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
Yeah, no kidding. The world seems to be made of pulsing flesh.
Don't worry. We only need this one last go at things.
I like your optimism.
You'd better hope that's true. And don't let that inflated ego get in the way of doing your job.
If there's still a princess at the cabin, maybe we can salvage things.
No.
Oh, cut it out, will you? We need to be tough right now, and you're making it so much harder than it has to be, so stop whining.
Right. Okay. You know what? We're going straight to that dang cabin. We're gonna see this through.
Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her. That's it? No final words of advice? I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard. That's fine by me. Let's get moving. I'm itching for a rematch.
Yeah.
The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible. You did this. The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Yeah. But where do we go? There's a mirror in the way. See? It's blocking the door.
A mirror? There is no mirror. We've done this already. Try to keep up. The repetition is maddening. I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things or you're confused on the definitions of door and mirror. Or you're seeing things. That seems far more likely. What are you trying to say exactly?
He thinks we've lost it, that we're succumbing to madness, that something in us has broken.
That's an unnecessarily melodramatic way to describe a hallucination, but sure. I'm not going to waste time arguing with any of you. It went away after we touched it last time. Let's just do it again.
Okay. First off, we take the blade.
You take the blade from the pedestal. Good. Nothing feels better than gripping cold steel.
What would happen if we had forgotten it? Would we still be able to do this? Or would we have a totally different ending? Probably.
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it. You really don't, do you? How strange. It really is just like last time. Are we really hallucinating? Why here? Why now?
Smash it. Smash it to pieces. It's the only thing keeping us from her.
Don't you want to know what we'll see in there? We won't be able to see anything if we smash it. Nah, I'm with him on this one. Smash it! Let's get violent already. Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time.
Last time we touched it, it did nothing, so let's try smashing it.
You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement.
And there it goes.
As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead. Why am I not surprised? You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high-vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
Was severing the tendons of my ascension not enough for you? Was it not enough to rend my divine heart? Come, see the horrors you've wrought upon my flesh, and feel my hands set upon your throat.
She's so angry with us. Why? Why did you desecrate her? Why couldn't I stop you?
You've got to stop thinking about her like that. It isn't doing anyone any good.
Stop even reasoning with the guy.
She's not some untouchable god. She's an abomination, and we're going to put an end to her once and for all.
Whatever she is now is our fault. If she's an abomination, then what does that make us?
She was going to end the world last time. If I might interject, you didn't make her into an abomination. She's always been what she is. It's why you're here, and it's why your task is so important.
Okay, let's confront her.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
Ah!
The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone.
Looks like a defiled god, a demon of sorts.
The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
Nothing fun, I'm betting. Are those bone heels?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings.
Ew!
She is loose, and she is coming for you.
Let her end it. It's the punishment you all deserve for what you did to her.
Screw that. We can win. We've done it before and we'll do it again, only this time we'll make it out the other side. Hell, she's practically done most of the work for us.
I don't know about that one, buddy. Right. I'm going to end you, slay the princess!
You'll try. And that's what I've been so excited for. Let's hurt each other.
Your heart free of fear, you charge towards the princess, your eyes locked on each other, both of you prepared to lay down your very essence in one blow.
It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory.
With a horrifying
Ah!
squelch, you are unwound.
That's not fair, I didn't even have a chance! Wait, why the feathers? Oh, I am a weird bird thing, aren't I?
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. Huh. I feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
Whoa! 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 Okay. What? True to her word, you do not die by her hand. Something has taken her away and it's left something in its place. Oh, the mirror.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
I thought I was unwound. How am I moving?
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Great question. Where's the narrator?
He is. Does that mean the world ended?
The world didn't end. We're still here. Come on. We just need to keep going.
Figures the world would end and leave us with all this nothing.
Right. I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror?
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
There is nothing here. It's only a mirror.
I don't want to look at us.
Yes, you do. We're approaching the mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
I'm doing it anyway. Ignore him. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. Oh, gosh. It's you. And I'm actually hideous. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin, if there even is a cabin. Oh, God. There's something. You're at the I don't see a cabin, but I see something far worse. Approach her. Whoa.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Fragile vessel? What is that supposed to mean? Wait, what are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
I like how she's literally being puppeted by the hands and stuff like that. They have to, like, move her around. Solitary light. What do you think I am?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Okay. Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
I mean, it seems to be mostly gone. What do you mean about the gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes. Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. But there is passion and empathy in her misery. She will make for a burning heart.
Perspectives, huh? That's actually a really important thing about this character.
Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace.
Right. So, you're not the princess, though, right?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or are you just now making her a part of you?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Yes, because it means that you may have tried to kill me and you're an enemy, or not. Something else entirely. Okay, well, what happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to.
This is interesting, by the way. If only you believe her to be able to. We first met her, and we were scared of her and we hesitated. Then she beat the snot out of us, and then we believed her to be all-powerful, so we saw her as a god. Then we believed her to be a foul abomination, and that's exactly what she was. So belief seems to play a very big part of this.
Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole. And perhaps then we will know our freedom.
And this is where you are supposed to continue playing the game. Perspectives. Try different decisions, different approaches, get different endings, different forms of the princess, and bring them to whatever this being is. How many more pieces to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Okay, so make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
And everything goes dark and I die. Okay, and that actually is the end of the game. But oh look, we're back down to Chapter 1.
You're on a path.
Yes,
in that you're
I've seen all this before. Okay, hang on. We are going to march straight to the cabin. I'm not actually going to do another run, but I'll just show you how this is supposed to work. Yes, skip, proceed to the cabin, blah, blah, blah. And then if we go over here, for example, and choose not to take the blade but enter the basement.
Hello? Is someone there?
Oh, that's a totally different voice than we heard before. I'm here to save you!
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
Not that it necessarily goes any better, I'm afraid. I won't show you all the decisions made up to this point, but as you can probably guess, we still die. But it does lead to a totally different chapter, The Damsel, which introduces the voice of the smitten. But I think that's a good place for us to end things here. So absolutely fascinating, fun game, and there are a lot of different ways to play it. Even within the exact same story arc you just saw, things could have branched in many directions. Do you save her? Do you just lunge and immediately kill her without even talking? Do you fall down the trap we did and hesitate? Do you worship her as her god and serve at her side? Does other things happen? I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of ways to play this game, and it is very much that awesome narrative story branching path you get from something like the Stanley Parable. But as you see, very, very creepy. Well, except for like one particular path. One of them is very happy and actually has a happy ending, but you'd have to go hunting for that one. But ultimately the goal, get as many of the endings as you can, find the quote-unquote true ending for the infinite being. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you found this as fascinating as I did. If so, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and share that notify bell. And I will see you guys next time, maybe to slay a princess.